Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips, previewing Saturday racing on the 23rd of January 2021, and we found him. The Beaver's back after an extended absence. What's going on, mate?
Oh, MIA, mate. MIA. No, I've been on a bit of holidays, mate, and busy man, but still on the punt, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you found a couple last week. Managed to find Husey against my quaddie and a few other things throughout the day, so we had a pretty good Magic Moons day all in all.
Yeah. No, good win by Husey. I've been a bit of a fan of the horse and certainly suited down the straight, just off the speed, and couldn't quite work out why it was the sort of fourth favourite in that field, but I was happy to see it and happy to get the chockies.
That's fair enough. So that was a good finish, and throughout the day we found a few up there. Good result all around.
Yeah.
But we got to look forward rather than back. There's the show up earlier on progripracing.com.au, just where I had a quick look through Canterbury and Moonee Valley. Do you like anything tonight, quickly?
I do like a couple of things tonight, mate, but you caught me on the hop because I haven't got it in front of me. But give me a quick second,
yep, you're right.
And I'll come up to... there was a couple of things in Canterbury that I did like. There's a couple of shorties early on, which I wasn't quite too keen on. But the one bet that I did like came up in race 5, number 5, Pitchfork. Thought that was going to be hard to beat. So that was probably my best bet at Canterbury, other than a couple of other shorties that were floating around. And Moonee Valley, I wasn't overly taken by anything too early in the field day. I thought the short price Elderflower was pretty good last start. Race 3, number 1. I think that'll be hard to beat. I think if you back that up onto Viridane in the 4th, that's a sort of an all up there that you might want to have a bit of a play with. And then later in the night, I thought there was a little bit of a good chance in race 7, number 6, Zesty Bell. So I sort of was just going to put those 3 in a multi and see how I go.
Yeah, no worries. I thought along the same lines pretty much. I thought early in the day was better betting opportunity, let's say. Sorry, got a school holiday fun happening here, babysitting somehow. Randwick though, let's get there. The rail's in the 9 metre mark. Dry track. I'm thinking a little bit on pace, perhaps, Beaver might be the way to go.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit on pace as well at Randwick, but certainly horses that sit midfield, so I think they're a good chance. But you won't want to get too far out of your ground.
Yeah. And I think most of the chances map pretty well throughout the day anyway, so didn't play too much of an effect. Did any thoughts in the 2-year-old race?
No, I left the 2-year-old race alone. Daggy, I thought that was a little bit hard. Keen to just watch and see how the track plays early on.
Yeah, similar here. Ashima was good on debut. Reigned most of the rest of the field.
Yes.
Nailed it on the line. And Camille and Joey had a bit of a spruik last week up the straight and just laid out a bit. And now Nash on might straighten him up. But when you got so many unraced, Arthur Francis trolled all right. There's a few others we don't know. Nothing we can really stamp.
Yeah, that's right.
The 2 highways, anything there?
First highway I left alone, but in the second highway, Massara was bringing one to town. Melik, number 1, has some pretty good form, pretty consistent. And first up, I think this will be cherry ripe, ready to go. So I got a bit of a liking for Melik around the $3 mark.
Okay, cool. Spot question: when was the last time Massara won a highway?
Good question.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I don't know, but
Tomorrow.
Okay.
That'll be the last time.
All right. I wish you well. The 4th over the 1100 metre benchmark 78. Do you want to kick us away here?
Yeah, look, I've gone for the favourite, The Face. Both its last 2 runs have been pretty impressive. Gets the 3rd up after a spell. 1100 metres suits. I'm not sure the heavy track was right up its alley last start, but finished length behind Forbidden Love is pretty good form for a race like this. And prior to that, pretty close up behind Selena Dreaming. So, look, it's been around the money in all its 4 race starts. tomorrow gets its chance, if it doesn't win tomorrow, you probably can it.
Yeah, I started out trying to find something to beat it, and I couldn't really.
Me
Emanate,
too.
two blue colours were okay trials. Emanate was actually quite a nice trial, but it's up from midweek grade. The more I look back at the face, sat outside Malkovich last start. Malkovich, that was in the Forbidden Love race. Malkovich ended up finished second last and dropped right out.
Yeah.
Outside lead and was only just nailed by Forbidden Love. First up was good as well, same sort of setup. It's now drops back in grade, gets the lead, and actually drops in weight as well with the claim. So
Yeah.
I think it just ticks every box, and around $2.70, $2.50 is a great bet.
Yeah, 100%.
Great. Race 5, which where the face has been scratched from. 1,100 metre benchmark 72, where Rule of Law has trolled up quite nicely, the favourite. And I know it's a lot of this is provincial stuff, but he's actually coming to
It is.
to town after race before last. It beat Exoboom quite convincingly. Exoboom, shout out to Carol, who's got a small share in it. Looks like a bit of a future Saturday horse in waiting. It's been toweling up horses this prep, and I think Rule of Law's trialled quite well. Comes to town now and should beat this field as well. I think it's ready to go.
Yeah, it looks certainly hard to beat going on the trial form. I liked the run of Rocketing By first up from the Pfeiffer stable. They took it to Nowra and it won very well. And certainly I haven't ruled it out. Carried a big weight, carried 61 kgs. So gets 5 kilo weight drop, gets an extra 100 meters. Yeah, I'm probably just leaning slightly towards it at the moment. Won a barrier trial really well as well back in December and beat Deep Speed fairly easily in a barrier trial. So that's also a pretty good warm up for a race like this. And so I think Rocketing By is a real big shake in this.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, very nice return. I'm actually having 3 looks at Felizi at the top as well, which coming out of the Group 1 mare races last start. I know it didn't trouble him, but 4 lengths off Dame Giselle and that sort of thing probably puts it in the race like this.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means beyond that, but I think we've probably covered off the key chances there.
Yeah, and Super Effort was a good run last start. The thing at the moment is, Daggy, that it's a bit tricky because we've been racing a little bit on softer going than what we're going to see tomorrow. So some of the form is a little bit harder to line up at the moment because horses that may not have been performing at their top get their chance with a better track.
That's right. And I mean, the thing about it is, I think a lot of these horses are probably in their getting close to the end of their preps when I guess the autumn horses are trialling at the moment. They won't be far away. So that's a bit of a...
That's right. So I'm looking for some of the horses a bit fresher now.
Yeah. Just on
some of the horses. Yeah.
The last race, Super Effort was Contessa in second to Private Eye. Private Eye, Tycoon is 2, ran 4th, and the horse that ran 3rd, Count de Rupee, have all since gone to town and won. So the form's pretty well there. So I assume there'll be...
First up when it ran 7th, it should have finished a lot closer. It got no run on the straight. And you remember I tipped it last start and it ran 2nd. I thought I was home there. And it got beat by Private Eye, who looks to be a pretty fair horse. So you couldn't put a line through it as well.
No, absolutely. 6 over the 2,000 metres, benchmark 78, the rematch of New Arrangement and Kiss and Sacramento. I thought an easy bet to have here. A New Arrangement probably should have won last start. Loomed up to win, just outmuscled in the end by the rider on Sacramento, whose name escapes me, Sammy Clipperton. And now you go CJ Graham to James McDonald, gets the same run, probably sits the same spot, and I think turns the tables.
Yeah, look, I kind of... I sat out of this because I just don't like these races, these 2,000 metre races. I think they're fairly inconsistent races that have different winners and take turnabout. So, albeit you probably got it right there. Those two look to be the two standout in the market. I just stick here. I thought I'd save me money for something else.
Fair enough. And the other one I'll mention who will finish closer, I think Kiss the Bride's pretty close to ready. You took about 3 or 4 starts last time to really get into its work, and was
yeah, that's one of the reasons I just didn't tip.
Yeah.
I tipped it last time, Kiss the Bride, and I just couldn't find enough to favour any of those.
No, that's all fair enough. Race 7 over the 1400 metres, benchmark 78. What about this for a race? Anything here you want to get your teeth into?
Oh, no, not really. I think this is obviously the most open race on the day. Plenty of chances. If I had to lean towards a tip, I'd probably go Blondo. One last start, third up after a spell. Had some decent form last preparation. Wallaberry combination around that 450 mark. I think that's probably the best play in this.
If this Zagallo has any ability, it should win this, shouldn't it? Lightly raced overseas horse.
Yeah, look.
I don't quite know what to make of all the overseas form, but this is just an average race, and most of them are tied together.
It is a very average race. Again, probably the biggest concern for horses like those coming here is it's going to be a pretty warm day as well. So how a horse like that handles the heats first up. The distance should be okay because it's done most of its racing over a mile.
Yeah.
Just hard to see how hard race fit it is against some horses that have had a few starts.
Yeah. The rest is all tied. Ulysses, Blondo beat Ulysses home. Ulysses has won since, gets a lead, blah, blah, blah. Outback Diva from a different form I could probably back as well. And not enough of it, but some Covered Spirits get blinkers first time tomorrow. But 5 and 3 probably if the way I'll play them each way in this race.
Yep, good man.
Race 8, the Carrington Stakes over the 1400 metres, and one of the keener bets I've had in a while. I've actually backed this horse. I'm pretty keen that Order Again will win this. I spoke about it first up, first full prep for Waller. He knows the horse better. It came back and just bolted in at Kenzo. And when you look through the rest of this race, there's a lot of numbers. And then you got Bandersnatch, when you really look at it, beating Montenegro Man, who hasn't won in 100 years. Got beaten by Mr. Moneybags and couldn't get past King of Hastings, who sat 4 wide the whole way and beat it. So I just have decided Bandersnatch is probably, we know it's level in Sydney and it's probably running to that. So I'm away from that and just thought Order Again. It's actually the only bet I've had. I don't generally bet early, but I've actually taken the early price on Order Again. And I'm pretty keen. So I'll get in first there, Beaver. How are you playing it?
You are keen. I thought Order Again was pretty good first up, but worries me whether it can produce that form again second up. I like Bandersnatch. I thought its win first up, while it might not have, while you might be a bit critical of the horse that beat, it flew home at the short straight at Moonee Valley and was very impressive. Come from the back of the field. It spurred, didn't have a lot of luck, and last start was pretty good. I think it was probably, didn't need too many more strides. It was probably wins that race and finished off really well. So I expect again, probably wasn't again the change from the soft track back to the good. I think it helps Bandersnatch. For that reason, I'm going for Bandersnatch, and I think Bandersnatch is one of the better bets of the day. Gets 4 kgs relief after last start. King of Hastings, it'd be well in the market in a race like this. I mean, it won last race and they took it to Brizzy, so they obviously thought it was going pretty good.
Yeah, it ran 5th up at the Gold Coast. I ran okay.
Yeah, so Bandersnatch for me, mate. I think it's one of the better bets, so we'll go head to head there.
We'll have a beer on that. The other thing about you mentioned a second up again, I like that he's trialled since that, so it's a bit of just get the second up syndrome out of the legs with a quiet trial and then back to town. So I think there's a bit of intent. So, yeah, I got a bit keen. I can't remember last time I bet early, and I took that price as soon as it went up. Race 9. Let's wrap the day up with a less than enthusiastic. Oh, actually, there's 2 more races to go. Race 9.
Yes.
I have no idea here. Do you like Zing or?
No idea as well. Absolutely no idea. Again, super hard race that I couldn't even find something to back. I'd probably go for, if I was given someone else's money to have a bet with, I'd probably look for something around the double figure odds, the Dame Kiri, Straw, Strange Charm, sort of around that price.
Yeah, I thought Zing had it give it to him a plate last start. If I'd known it was just going to
me too.
lead, I would have probably had a bet on it, but I'd stayed away then, and I'm staying away now. Same. Maybe, Dame Kiri was okay, whatever that race means, and Salika's lightly raced and going okay just behind 3 there. So, but just nothing I'm getting involved here too much.
Yep.
Race 10, where I think I will get a bit more involved over the mile, benchmark 88. Do you like the favourite?
Absolutely. Surprised it's still $2.30. I thought there'd be even money. Good horse, going well. Only thing against it is the 59 kgs. Outside of that, looks a lot better than some of the horses in this race. I know a few of them have got okay form, but Snowfire, drawn wide, I tend to think it likes a bit of sting out of the ground. Betcha Flying, well, that's not a horse that wins very often. One last start, so it won't be winning again.
Why one last start? Because it's literally the only horse I didn't have in my quaddy in the last. And it was
there you go.
Race. Oh, yeah. Sick. Anyway.
And then you got horses like Cisco, Don't Win Out of Turn, Matawi. They're all older hacks. So this is just an up-and-coming horse against some seasoned, mature, average horses.
Isn't this is a weaker race than it started $1.50 in?
Yeah, I thought so too. That's exactly my point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it wins. It was 270.
As I said, the only thing is it's up 3.5 in weight and got the extra 200. But probably the further they go, the further it wins by.
Yeah, well, last start as well. I think Tommy rode it like a $1.50 chance. I think if he rides it quieter, not Tommy, Karen, if he rides it quieter, gate one, he hopefully just gets leaders back a little bit of cover, and it should have its benefit that it had first up. I would like to think. I think it will start odds on, and I think it will win. And I've got it in with my best bets of the day as well. I'll put you in charge of the Sydney Quaddy Beaver because I don't want to touch it.
You're such a nice. You're such a considerate guy.
I've missed
it. Thank you, mate. It sounds like it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
My quaddy is number 2, 3, 5, 10, and 11.
Yep.
In the next legs, I've gone 3 and 8. Just stood those two out. In the third leg, I've come up with 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11.
Yep.
And I'm finishing the day one out with number 5.
Cool. 60 combos. Not bad, actually. It's a nice little quaddy. Done well, Dan.
Yeah, so a couple of legs I've gone short there and a couple of ones longer.
I think they're pretty safe short ones too. I mean, if
day,
I think if all-time legend gets beat, hope I'm in front on the day, put it that way.
Yeah, that's right. If you'll be going all up on whatever you're in front at the end there. Big day or break-even day.
Yeah, that's it. So I'll make it my best along with the face and new arrangement. That's a treble I'll probably play. I think my value, I've talked about order again. And what about your best and value?
Yeah, my best of the day is all-time legend. And my value of the day comes up in race 5, number 4, rocking by, at the $5 plus mark.
Very good. With the Britain form.
Correct.
progretracing.com.au. Head there for their free tips and extensive guides, as always. Plenty of news up at the moment about the upcoming Autumn Carnival, which horses are in, which are out. See that apparently Sir Dragonet coming back for the All-Star Mile, probably a moral if it runs there. Get in early and say that.
Yeah.
let's head to Sandown, where again we got Rail True, good track. Last time it was that setup was the last day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, where swoopers are able to run on pretty well. Sosie Bond came from last. Sound won along the fence, so played quite fairly. So I've treated it that way. No disadvantage to be swooping throughout the day. We kick off with the 2-year-olds again, where Piccaroni's off the early, off its nice Caulfield win starts favourite. Do you have any thoughts here, or are you going to pass on this one?
Yeah, I passed on this one. I thought Piccaroni is probably looks the horse to beat. First starter from the O'Brien stable with Cara boards, one to watch out for. But yeah, that's probably where I narrowed it down.
Yeah, no, cool. Yeah, Piccaroni's never travelled at all on debut, and once it did straighten up was pretty impressive. But with, unraced O'Briens, and that sort of thing, we'll let the rest go through there. Second, over 1,300 balls here. The second of the day at Sandown, over the 1,300 metre benchmark 64. Did you have any idea here, mate?
Yeah, I did like Irish Butterfly. I thought its first up run was pretty good. Doesn't win out of turn, but it's only lightly raced. Look, the 1,100 at Warrnambool first up was probably a bit short of its best. Stepping up a little bit in distance here to the 1,300, probably more to its liking. This is a pretty weak field. Should be a bit of pace on, and should get the run of the race from barrier 6. Hopefully Thornton can pull it out and come over the top of it at the end of the 1,300.
Yeah, cool. I'm with. I didn't have a firm opinion. I thought Vladis of Vostok was probably the best horse in the race. Probably going off a run early there though. As you said, Irish Butterfly, nice return. And Jimenez is honest and will be on the pace and be the horse to get past. But I couldn't really get overly excited about stamping anything just there. We go to the 78, race 3. Bit of a similar story for me with the scratching of King's Ear coming out. I thought Imperial Lad was pretty good on return. First up, Gelding will be the horse to get past. And second slip, coming over from Adelaide, was a nice Australian debut. Former Kiwi horse. I haven't gone anything crazy there, given the top 2 in the market. Could you split them?
Yeah, look, I probably led pretty similar to you. I thought Imperial Lad was pretty good first up, and second slip. Got a good watch on this coming over. Clarkin doesn't bring many horses to Melbourne, and it's got Jamie Carr aboard.
Yeah.
So just at the price, I probably had a bit of a slight leaning towards that at this point in time.
Yeah, and it's been scratched from tonight, where I was a little bit keen on it to be safe for this as well. The staying race of the day, 2,400 metres, with the scratching of Nelson as well, which is who might have been a good shout here. I struggled to really want to stamp any of these as well because there's just no pace. I don't know. Dukon might go and lead with Damien Oliver. If it does, it's a good chance here, but there's just nothing without a real staying contest. This is going to be a Mickey Mouse race, which I don't really want to bet in.
Yeah, look, I lifted the bat and let it go through to the keepers. So couldn't find anything here at all that wanted to push forward. So one to move on to the next race for me.
Yep. All right, we're getting through this nice and quick. We're into the girls over the mile, race number 5, where I'm a little bit keener. I think there's 2 chances here. Do you like the favourite?
Look, I thought that favourite was hard to beat, certainly. I had a bit of a liking for something at a bit of odds here in Jealous at the $10 mark. Thought it was pretty good first up. Archie Alexander's flying at the moment, not an overly tough affair. So I just looked for a little bit of value in this race.
No, cool. Mark Zara on board as well. I liked Quantum Mechanics' last run, Chasing Fundraiser. Sandown will suit it out to a mile, will suit it. Jamie Carr booked inside gate by that time. Hopefully okay. Hopefully can sit a bit closer. From Lady Dora, who I seem to find this stable a lot in the last few weeks, and maybe their run's just starting to come to an end. But we'll have gate 1 will probably push a bit closer than it was last time and has been very honest through the whole campaign. The favourite on top for me. 1,400 metre benchmark. Where are we here? 400 metre handicap it is.
Yes.
What do you like, Grant?
I thought Milton Park was pretty good first up.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Won by a couple of lengths. I think it wasn't knocked around. I thought it still had a little bit more in the tank for that run. Should be improved. Out to the 1,400 at Sandown won't hurt. So sticking to that distance.
14 too.
Got the service. Yeah, got Oliver aboard. Yeah, I think Milton Park's a horse to beat.
Yep, same for me. On top for everything you've just said there, and probably pretty keen actually, to be honest, because I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, me too.
Where that form around Goolagong Rose really fits. So
Yes.
favourite. So I think that's a reasonable bet.
Yeah, me too.
Great. Race 7 is a bit trickier. We see the clash of the two form lines coming in here. Rule the World form line and the fundraiser form line, and horses through both of them. Which lead up do you like? I had a bit of a question mark. I sort of leant towards. I like the fight that fundraiser showed at the end of its last win. Under some weight, bit of a weight drop here for those that like sort of thing. Damien Lane on probably goes close to leading this race, and probably is slightly the way I've led. How about yourself?
Yeah, look, I thought Fundraiser was good last up. I also thought Rule the World was really good as well.
Yep.
1 sec, mate.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. Just go back to the start of that race.
Yeah, I'll go.
Or just carry on.
Hang on, I'll snip this bit. Go on, you give hang on, start this bit again. Yeah, what were your thoughts, Grant, on the Rule the World? You were saying was the line you liked.
Yeah, look, I think I thought Rule the World was really tough last start. Had to do all the bullocking work up front. Led down the Flemington Straight. Viral had the sit and was well backed, and only just nutted it on the line. And I still felt that probably if they kept going a little bit further, I think Rule the World might have actually kicked back and got past Viral, and had to do a bit of work early coming across from barrier 10. So I think gate 6, it'll either kick up and lead or sit just behind the lead, and could well be the one that gets the better run here.
Yeah, cool. The good thing is I think all these horses are pretty genuine, which is going to be interesting. There's no, because Caffrey looks like a bit of a fighter as well. He was good in the finish, and as does Fundraiser. Yep. So interesting finish. We've gone against each other again, but we'll see how that plays out. Potentially probably a tricky race. Or is a tricky race. The 1,500 metre benchmark 70, the second last of the day, where we see the return of Heart of Puissance from the All-Star Mile, pulling up lame and apparently pretty crook out of the All-Star Mile. I mentioned it a few weeks back when it was down to resume, but I think it should win a race like this if it's got the talent that it showed early on. I think this is a good race for it to resume in. From King Magnus, who's again another one from the Griffith stable, who's honest and going quite well. What about yourself?
Yeah, I kind of had a similar leaning to you. I thought this was probably a good first up tilt for a horse of Heart of Puissance ability. It's drawn well enough in the 3. Looks to get a good run in transit here. 1,500 metres probably suits first up if it's done enough work and got enough fitness on its side. Certainly should be too good for horses here that don't win very often at all.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Let's wrap up the day though. 1,000 metre race. Where are your girls here? I did it for love. Are you sticking with her?
Oh, I'll do it for some love again. Daggy, no reason why it can't win this race. Very open race. Plenty of chances here. Look around the $6 mark again. I think it gets the 3 kilo claim, which brings it in nicely, drawn nicely, sits on pace. Hard to beat. Yeah,
well, it started favourite last start against most of this field and beat them. So I don't quite understand what I'm not seeing. While the other two are shorter than it. I've talked about China Affair and even the draw's fine. Talked about China Fair all through the prep as well. It's honest and not enough effort was okay, but I didn't think I did it for love. Actually travelled that well up the straight. I thought it never really looked like winning until the last 100, and we're back around to bend or suit it. So I'm at $6, $6.50. I think it's a good bet as well, and a good way.
Yeah, and Paddy Payne's flying.
Yeah, definitely. So a good way to wrap up the day for both of us. What's your best and your value down south?
My best is race 8, number 2, Heart of Puissance. And my value bet is race 7, number 3, Rule the World.
I'm going to make, I better do my quaddie. The Melbourne quaddie, 1, 4, 7, and 8, into 3, 4, 5, and 8, 2, 3, and 6. Home with 3, 5, 7, and 8, and I might even throw Rock Tycoon into that quaddie, number 2 as well. My best will be Quantum Mechanic, and my value will be the last. I did it for love. To wrap up the thoughts for progroutracing.com.au at Sandown, a couple of days out from Australia Day. Up north, what have you got? Anything?
Oh, I've got a few for you, mate. Can't go without giving you a few tips for Brizzy. Doomben, race 4, number 1, Garibaldi. Very hard to beat. Should give us a good run. Race 6, number 2, Blue Zebra. Looks very hard to beat in that race. And then race 8, number 8, Socializing.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
$4.20. Yeah. Very hard to beat.
But awesome. Well done. Good to have you back. I'll see you Monday.
Yes, good to be back.
For our Australia Day preview for progroutracing.com.au. Thanks to everyone who's stuck around. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed to Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. Some very good numbers out of the last couple of weeks. So in your absence, just been carrying a joint, Grant, but you're used to that by now.
Yes.
Anything you want to finish on?
It's a much easier weight you carrying me than me carrying you, mate.
That is true. Yeah. All right. Well, we might catch up Australia Day for a beer, eh?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, matey. Thanks for that. It's only taken us an hour and a half to get through a 20-minute show, so that's been good. Good luck to all the punters this weekend, Beaver, and I'll catch up with you shortly.
Love your work.